So I'm in the production house that we start in January, but this is what normally when you come in the season is our vegetable house. So we started some tomatoes, like I said, and then we're going to be transitioning the plants that we started from unrooted cuttings and bumping them up into bigger pots. Some of these are going to be used for the basket classes and planters. So they start out all small in little 4-packs, but this started out also in January, and it's got lots of roots, and it is growing. This is one of the newer colors of moss roses or purslane. Lots of variegated colors now, which makes it's not the pack moss roses, it's the purslane, the portulaca. Some of the foliage plants, there's so many foliages that have lots of color. This is alternantha, so this will be moving into another house. But the different stages are on the whole bench here. I've given them haircuts to get them to branch more. And this house will be eventually filled with tomatoes and peppers, which will be starting in maybe in next 3 weeks. But we do have a good supply of seed racks for the home gardeners at the greenhouse here. And we're open during the week, and you can come in and pick out some seeds and starting at home. You might want to hold off a little, but the gardeners know the time. Don't get them too soon so they stretch. But we have to kind of keep an eye on that too, with heat and moisture and the right lighting to get them started. Okay, today we're starting some cuttings. Usually we get some in January from countries that have a warmer growing climate, like Mexico, Guatemala, Costa Rica, and then we get them that are only a little bit like 2 nodes, leaf nodes, and then we can dip them in a rooting solution. Some need it, some don't. Some plants need a little more rooting hormone to make them grow faster. Then we take and we put them in a soil cell and pinch them in so that the roots can begin to grow. If there's any extra leaves, we try to get it in there tight. Then it'll be under a mist it varies on different plants. Maybe it'll start rooting in 3 days, some might take a week. We get them in the soil, and we have bottom heat on our benches here. The hot water runs through the tubes, heats the bottom up, and then we have them under mist. If you would do this at home, you would need probably more of a mist because they will dry out, especially today with the sun. So like if I was sticking this in, pinch it, and then I put it under the mist where we have the plants that are getting misted. And then when that's ready, I take it out, and then they are established. Like this was some pineapple sage that was started in late February, so it didn't take long, and that little unrooted cutting has this many roots now, and we will take these and put them in a bigger pot, and they are ready, but then that I need to make it branch. So again, I'm pinching it, and I can start some new ones under mist of this cutting and have some more pineapple sage. Pineapple sage is one of the sages that smells so fragrant and has a bright red flower. Butterflies love those. So if you don't use it for cooking, you can also help the butterflies and bees and such out in your garden. It is a taller sage than the other sages, but just thought I'd throw that out at you.
How many types of plants do we start from cuttings?
Oh, we start a lot of plants from cuttings. We keep some stock plants, and some of the newer plants come in, so they come and they're patented, and we have to have tags with them that show that whoever created them, that they're getting a royalty on the plants. I would say I have no idea, 1,000 different varieties of things, and a lot of times you have to prune them back and get them fuller plants. Most of them need pinching, so we do that. So that's what we start in the January, and now we're getting into starting to plant up other things. So this is when we start seeding at the greenhouse. We have a heat mat for warming up the trays, and then we have lights. We have LED lights now. We used to do different lights, but being in the greenhouse, we have to protect it from the bright sun because that could be too much on our seed trays. We start things at different time according to what we know when we need them. Like this was started a while back. We take a tray, put some germinating mix in it, we keep it moist, sprinkle the seed on, and then maybe make a thin layer of soil, not much, and then we cover it in plastic and leave it under here. But with all these trays, the important thing is keeping track, so we make sure we put our variety, how many seeds, the date we stuck it. This is one where we've already taken the seeds out and planted, and that's some that weren't ready to plant yet. But here's one that after it's been under here so long, we keep looking for the germination to see how much is ready to come out. And then we uncover it, but I'm going to leave this one covered because most of the plants aren't out yet. And if you want to know what this little one is, it's a tomato. It's a little early for you to be planting tomatoes at home, but these are some of our early ones for the early part of the season. But this is just the beginning. We have lots of different stages of tomatoes, so I'm going to leave that under there for a while. And then, so once we have a seed tray where things are rooted, we take and bump them up, and you got to be a little patient and get each plant in a cell. This is Nicotiana, only the lonely, and it's a real tall, fragrant annual, and we've planted some already. But once we get the seeds up and ready, we make sure at the right stage we have to take and get the roots, put a little hole in the cell that you're going to put it in, and transplant it. The soil should be wet. This was a little dry here, but not soaking wet. And I'm trying to keep some roots on, and then again it'll have a little more room to grow.
What varieties have we started from seed so far?
So far we've started dianthus. There's a lot of nice tall dianthus. We've started some flowering kale, cleome. Here's cleome, the spider flower. That's what it looks like. That has to have some cold treatment before it gets rooted out. So that's been to 2 different places. Here's a seed tray of hyssop, Anna's hyssop, which everybody likes for their bees with the pretty blue flower. We've got borage with the blue flower starting up over there. We've transplanted dahlias. This is our first dahlias. We get some dahlias in as plugs, but these were started from seeds, so we've got the 4-packs all marked and labeled. Keeping varieties straight is very important at this time of the year. So that's